It's said that when the end day comes, a few survivors move to Mars. What will their lives be like? The sci-fi movie, Settlers, shared today is about Remy's family of 3. The story of her living on Mars with her parents. The movie starts. Reza, the father, is teaching Remy to identify the constellations in the universe. The Earth is out of reach for them. Although the weather where they are living is very bad, they still grow some vegetables for daily consumption. Remy can only play ball every day. The monotonous life can be boring. Remy always hopes to go to the outside world, but there are almost no humans outside. Every time Ilsa is doing housework, Remy always sneaks away. But the camp in front of her is this land, the only place where she can live. Ilsa never allows Remy to leave her sight. One morning, on the glass of their safety house, the intruder wrote the word leave. It is obvious to seize territory. Reza takes the gun directly and looks out the window. But at the moment, he does not know how many people are outside. He does not dare to go out. But Remy sneaks out. She wants to breastfeed her piglets. Ilsa finds Remy is missing. She hurriedly calls Remy back. At this time, 2 strange people suddenly rush in. They run to Remy quickly. Reza has to take action. He brings down one person and continues to shoot but misses. Seeing that Remy is about to be caught, Ilsa arrives in time and stabs another intruder to death. When the family continues to prepare to hide in the safety house, someone on the opposite hillside shoots at Reza. Making sure his daughter is okay, Reza moves quickly and hits the intruder directly. But Reza is sure that the intruder is not dead. To be sure that there is no trouble in the future, Reza decides to go alone, leaves Ilsa and Remy at home. They wait till night and do not see Reza come back. Ilsa could only accompany her daughter to wait for news. But danger is about to happen. The room keeps humming. Suddenly the power is out. There must be outsiders in the safety house. Ilsa has to stay with Remy in the warehouse for one night. The next day, Ilsa comes out with a knife. But the stranger, Jerry, directly points the gun at Ilsa. Jerry was shot in the leg. It is sure that he was the intruder yesterday. Jerry explains his intention. He is not the so-called intruder. This residence originally belongs to his parents. It's Remy's family who has taken over here. Jerry comes back after a long walk. He does not want to go anymore. Jerry assures Ilsa he will never hurt them. He will work hard to maintain this place. But how can Ilsa agree? When Jerry goes out, Ilsa hides Remy and prepares to fight Jerry desperately. But the result is Jerry once again points the gun at Ilsa. This time Jerry threatens Remy, and Ilsa must compromise. But Jerry also made concessions. He promises in 30 days, if Ilsa still wants to kill him, he will absolutely satisfy Ilsa. In this way, the 2 sides reach an agreement, burying her relatives with each other and starting a new life. In the first few days, Ilsa still looks for a chance to kill Jerry. But Jerry has already hidden all the dangerous tools in the safety house. Ilsa can only fight against Jerry in life. She occupies the faucet many times and prevents Jerry from using water. When Ilsa cleans the warehouse, Jerry brings a box. It's actually a robot. The robot runs directly to Remy. Remy starts to make friends with the robot. At night, when Remy is finding the robot to play with, Jerry takes the opportunity to strike up a conversation with Ilsa and introduces himself as Jerry. But Ilsa does not strike up a conversation with him. But Jerry mentions Remy. He says she is a lovely daughter. This is a hint to Ilsa. You ignores me, I will harm your daughter. Ilsa can only talk about the scene when her family first came here. Jerry's mother had passed away before the Remy's family came. Jerry's father took them in. But one day, Jerry's father asked them to go away. They only had to kill Jerry's father. The 2 of them talk a lot. There is nothing to hide from each other. Having been together for a long time, they come to have a tender feeling for each other. It is estimated that the 2 meet every day. Ilsa and Jerry's relationship has become more natural. Before going to bed, they will say goodnight to each other. When Ilsa is cooking, Jerry takes the initiative to chat with Ilsa. Remy watches that scene. Only Jerry cares about the 30-day appointment. Their relationship gradually became closer. Remy sees Ilsa and Jerry hug each other. She is lost. She hates Ilsa. She decides to leave alone. She wants to go and see the outside world. He asks the robot following her to go back. Anyway, Ilsa doesn't care about her feelings. She can have a daughter with Jerry. She says goodbye to the robot and just walks forward. She climbs up a mountain. It's far away from safety house now. But in front of her is something as big as glass. She touches it with her hands, but can't penetrate it. Now she has come to the edge. This is the isolation hood. She can't get out. When she is disappointed, suddenly she finds a cave. She comes to stand in front of the cave again. The cave gates button is pressed. The cave is really open. Behind comes Ilsa's shout. Remy walks into the cave. After taking a few steps, the gate of the cave closes suddenly. She can only hold the lamp, forcing herself to continue to move forward. The long cave is pitch black. Soon there is a sound from ahead. Bright light appears in front of her eyes. But in an instant, she can't breathe. The huge attraction draws her to the other side. She faints. Fortunately, Ilsa comes and Remy is saved. Ilsa knows where the problem is. It's been more than 30 days now. It's time to fulfill the promise. Jerry gives the gun to Ilsa. For the sake of the daughter, Ilsa shoots the gun. But there is no bullet in the gun. Jerry turns to look at Ilsa. Ilsa keeps pulling the string and shooting. but it doesn't help. Watching her daughter, Ilsa rushes into the house to take the knife. Jerry also follows her. Remy is standing outside. In the fighting, only Jerry's body is covered all over with blood. Ilsa was killed by Jerry. Remy keeps running, but Jerry catches her. Jerry hugs her, he tries to calm her down. Jerry begs her not to leave. He will do his best to take care of her. Remy has no choice but to agree. During the days without her mother, Remy always stays alone. But soon Remy grows up. After several years of development, there are a lot more pigs in the pig pen. It's the day of killing pigs. Jerry gives Remy a gun. Remy undoubtedly thinks there is no bullet in the gun, but when the trigger is pulled, the gun goes off. Jerry gives another painting to Remy. It's the portrait of Ilsa. Remy can't hold back her feelings. Jerry hugs Remy compassionately. Unexpectedly, he wants to do something with Remy. Remy instantly realizes, how could this be? Jerry appears at the door of Remy's bedroom at night. Looking at the portrait of my mother, Remy makes a decision. She takes the respirator that Ilsa used when she was a child. The cave which Remy had been to once again appears in her mind. She wants to leave. When eating meal, Jerry talks about men and women relationship again. There are no other humans on Mars now. Only Jerry and Remy are left. The responsibility of reproducing later generations naturally falls on them. Facing Jerry's reluctance, Remy answers definitely that even if humanity goes extinct, Remy will never have children with Jerry. Unexpectedly, Jerry found Remy's respirator. Remy's plan to leave is discovered. They have a violent quarrel. Jerry is always under the guise of continuing humanity. In fact, it is to meet the physiological needs. Remy can't accept to have a relationship with a man who killed her parents. Jerry is angry. He stuns Remy directly. The robot sees all of the happenings. When Remy wakes up again, Jerry ties her to the bed. He takes out the gun, points it at Remy, wants to forcibly satisfy his desires. In a critical moment, the robot appears, it hits Jerry directly. Incredibly, the robot has independent thinking ability. Remy escapes, but the robot is destroyed by Jerry. For revenge, Remy picks up the gun. She shoots and kills the last man on Mars. She buries Jerry. Now there is really only Remy left in this land. The rest of life can only be spent by Remy alone. The end day is coming. There is only one survivor. Very luckily, she can still live. Unfortunately, her life is too monotonous and boring. She can talk with no one. Remy works hard to fix the robot. At least the robot was damaged because it saved her. Then Remy makes a decision, she prepares equipment for the long journey. She still wants to leave. About the robot, it will continue to live here instead of humans. Remy says goodbye to the robot. The robot understands Remy and nods. The movie, Settlers, creates an ethical dilemma. Should you choose revenge, or choose to survive and reproduce? Choosing revenge, you will die alone and mankind will become extinct. Choosing to survive and reproduce, you must leave your grievances and compromise with enemies, even you have children to spend a lifetime together. Remy chose revenge. If it were you, how would you choose? At the end of the movie, Remy comes to the cave again. The cave is the gateway to the outside world. With a ventilator, holding a light, she really goes to the other side of the cave. In front of her, there are only endless peaks. There are only death and human extinction waiting for Remy. Today's sharing ends here. I'm Harry. Next time will still be great. Don't forget to leave a comment and follow if you like.